Good morning. Welcome to the Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Free Press Media Press Inc., an alternative parties books publisher, sponsors this podcast. I'm Andrew Bouchard.
Welcome to the Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Stay friends. We have another exciting set of guests on this podcast. They're with the Libertarian Party. The Libertarian Party represents all the time on this podcast. We love them. And they're with the Chubby Bearded Caucus. We have a couple of people with the caucus, so welcome to the podcast, Chubby Bearded Caucus.
I'm sorry, you said what caucus?
Did I get the caucus wrong?
We're just the Libertarian Party Beard Caucus.
Beard Caucus, okay.
Yep.
I thought a Chubby Bearded Caucus, so it's not you. That's not you.
not yet.
Okay. All right. I apologize for that. Okay, if we could start by kindly giving us an introduction to yourself, a brief biographical sketch.
Sure. My name's Tim. I've been in the Libertarian Party since, we'll call it the mid-90s. Never really been super active on the intra-politics side, but I voted, I talked to people about it, helped get people into the party. Semi-recently, and I actually talked to you a few years back when I was running for delegate in Virginia.
Oh wow.
Since about then, I've started getting more involved in the actual politics portion of the Libertarian Party. And at this recent national convention, a bunch of us bearded guys noticed each other's beards and appreciated them, and said, you know what? Let's start a caucus of beard dudes that just want to, like freedom, let it grow.
Okay, sounds good. Have you had a beard all your life, or is that something that you've recently innovated?
Oh, no. I was in the Marine Corps for a little over 20 years, and they told me to shave every single day. I did, and then when they stopped telling me to shave, I stopped shaving.
Oh, okay. So it's a thing of balance that you were tired of having to do that, and now you want to do something different.
Well, a lot of guys grow what we call a yeard when you get out, just to grow one and see what it looks like, see if it's something that you can live with or not.
Okay.
Some of us stick with it, some of us don't.
Okay. Now, some faiths have different opinions about beards. Some faiths require it. So how do you feel about that? Do you think it should be, or is it something that it's up to the individual, because like libertarianism, it's up to the individual?
I'm very pro individual liberty. If somebody chooses to be of a faith that has certain requirements and they're voluntarily entering into, that's fine, and that's their own decision to make, and their own hurdle to overcome. I will tell you, was flying into Israel one year, and my beard became a topic of conversation as I had to go through secondary screening. But that was something else. I just wanted, I didn't expect it to go that way. Yeah, they asked why I had a beard, what religion I was. It was I guess not something Americans are used to flying into the U.S.
Okay, so was it a matter of you not being used to the heightened screening at Israel, or was it? Do you think it had anything to do with your beard? Do you think it was?
It had to do with the other country stamps I had in my passport. I was doing work for the State Department at the time, and I was flying all over the Middle East, and they were being cautious.
Okay, I get it. Interesting. So how do you feel about society's views of beards in general? Do you think society's accepting it? Do you think there's a privilege for people who don't have beards, or is there privilege for people who do have beards?
I tell you, people are more likely to believe what I say now that I have a beard. Yeah, pardon the pun, but they take a lot of what I say at face value. I don't understand it. I can't say I haven't used it, so I should have used it occasionally. But a lot of people take you a lot more seriously than as a truth giver.
Okay, so is it a matter of them thinking that you're older? For example, I don't have a beard, and I look young, so that only makes me look younger. So you think that's the matter, where if you have a beard, then at least you're probably not too young, so that makes them think you're older and wiser?
I can only imagine. But it works.
How about the rest of the Libertarian Party? How are they accepting of the Bearded Caucus, or is it like everything else in the Libertarian Party, or at least should be, that they're accepting of it as a matter of individual choice?
I'll tell you, Andrew, the caucus is like a month old. It was formed as just a, hey, let's have something to warrant having a table at the next convention.
Okay.
I don't think it's really going to be a rallying cry one way or another. But hey, so long as we have people who are willing to join and put all the pettiness aside and just come together just because you're cool guys who appreciate each other, or heck, even whoever wants to join. I don't even care if it's a gal who wants to come appreciate beers. But just put all the other stuff to the side. Just come together as friends.
Okay. Fair enough. So you're telling me that you reminded me that I interviewed you. Maybe I've been in the podcast since 2021, so sometime earlier. So what did you learn from that election, and how are you applying that to your political activities now?
Oh, geez. Well, I learned that it certainly takes a team if you're running for office. And how I'm applying that now is I am not running for office again unless I have a team.
Oh, wow. So it's not a preference, it's a necessity.
No, absolutely. The amount of work that it takes to try and be a one-man show is absolutely ridiculous.
Interesting. So in this election right now, none of the major candidates have beards. Is that correct?
I think that's right.
Maybe some of the Alternative Party ones. I think maybe the Socialist guy might.
Cornel West.
Cornel West. Yes.
Okay, we're fact checking that now. I don't want you to take that as me just saying so. Thanks, God. Okay. Yeah, don't take it at face value.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking about that, and I wonder how that works. Trump is a shaver, so is Biden.
Yeah.
I wonder how that goes. How that relates to people in political power. What percentage have beards and what don't? That would be interesting.
Yeah, it's the old stigma of the clean-shaven face with the 50s through the 80s still sticking around. Yep, Mr. West does have a beard.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it seems to be lasting in the political realm.
Okay. Now, with the beards, is a mustache a requirement, or would you ever grow a beard but without a mustache?
I would not do one without the other, but that's a personal choice. Somebody wants just a mustache or a chin strap beard, that's okay.
All right, interesting.
Or the handshake. You seen the handshake?
Oh, you have a handshake.
Oh no, it's sideburns that cross over the mustache with the chin. Yeah, it's called the handshake. The sideburns shake hands across the top of your mouth.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that was what it was called. That's interesting. Interesting.
Well, I do actually have a guest here that might have something more pertinent to talk about, or that you might have more pressing questions.
Okay. Who's the guest?
It is the current Libertarian Party vice presidential candidate, Mike Tremack.
Oh, I know him. He's been on the show twice already. Hi, Mike. What's going on? Yes, twice.
How are you doing, buddy? I think one of the most important things to say about the Beard Caucus is that they're not focused on excluding people from their caucus based on ideology. It's a big tent caucus. You're welcome if you're willing to support beards, even if they're not on your face, and you're willing to support libertarian ideas, even if they're not your libertarian ideas.
Sure. Congratulations on winning the nomination for vice president.
Well, I appreciate that. I do think that the support of bearded libertarians was an important element of that.
Oh, wow.
And I just want to go on record as saying I will not forget the importance of my bearded constituents in the future.
Okay, good. That's a good way to be. You want to have support of that caucus? Who knows, that caucus might become very, very big, and it's good that you're not alienating the caucus early on.
No, that's exactly right. As a matter of fact, my own personal brand is being clean shaven, but
yes.
As you may know, one of the more popular people in the Libertarian Party of Virginia is my wife, Nancy, and she has told me that she is going to try to grow a beard.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And we do have famous bearded libertarians. You got Vermin Supreme.
Vermin Supreme.
We may see this.
We may see him this week. Should we try to recruit him?
Oh, we should.
I haven't spoken to him in a couple of years.
Certainly give him a pin.
We should get him a pin. What does it take to become a member of the caucus?
Yes, good question.
Can I be a member of the caucus?
You can be a member of the caucus.
I'm a member of the caucus.
So it's a very cut and dry process. There's not a long application.
Oh no, it's hey, if you're not anti-beard, you can be in.
We're considering, now that I'm a member, we are considering a non-anti-beard pledge.
Okay.
Are you okay there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm personally fine. It's where I'm recording this is right by the.
You're inside of the fire station right now.
No, he's the one.
He's
pulling the orphans out of the building as the firemen are showing up.
He's conducting a podcast while climbing up and down the ladder, saving orphans from the burning building.
Puppies.
You got it.
And puppies.
You got it, yep.
Fantastic. Great job, you.
Yes.
That's impressive.
I have to multitask. I don't want to abandon the orphans. I don't want to set aside the podcast either. So I got to do both at the same time. So it sounds like the orphans are in good shape now, and the podcast is in good shape. So we count that as a win.
We appreciate your efforts.
Not all heroes are clean shaven. That's our message.
Interesting. I did used to wear a beard up until I was about 30. So I did it from, and then I started shaving and it never went back. But yet, like Mike, I am willing to support people who have beards. I did come across an interesting saying. I don't know if you ever heard it. Someone said it in the 1800s. A guy you never heard of who said it. It was something Valedictorian or something was his name. He said, "Gods and heroes wore beards." Do you think there's truth to that?
I'm certainly not going to claim it.
I believe that there is probably truth to that.
So now you wore one until you were 30. What was how long was that?
Okay, it was between. I started in my last year of college, and I think it was about 23 to 29, so about 6 years. I didn't shave at all.
So that would have been a decent beard there.
Yeah. I don't grow too much of a beard. I don't grow too much of a beard, so people say I looked Amish. That's the type of beard I grew. It wasn't much. The mustache didn't grow very much. So I'm the type of person that I only have to shave once or twice a week, and that's enough.
Gotcha.
So I don't need to shave. My hair barely comes out, so it's the bare minimum that I have to do to maintain it. So yes, I had it for about 6 years, and then around 29 years of age, I shaved it off. So I have experience with it. So I see what people react to before and what people react to differently now. And I also had long hair back then too, so people thought I was a hippie.
Yeah, that's one of the 3 times I got in trouble in Marine Corps boot camp was for brushing my teeth during shaving time, because I too only had to shave every other day, and I wasn't doing what was prescribed at the time that it was prescribed. So I got to go push the earth away from my face a few times for that one.
My.
But
not all libertarians are Marines.
But I guess after shaving every single day and not doing that skip a day, it finally caused it to come out.
Oh sure, yeah, sure. It sounds like in life sometimes if you do something so much for so long, then you want to do the opposite. I hear that it happens to ideologies too. Some people may have if they come from a place that's very extreme one way with an ideology, they are very vigilant about not embracing everything. Like some people who come from communist countries or socialist countries, they don't want anything to do with socialism, so they go right to something like libertarianism.
Oh, right, the rebel bug.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I can't think of any countries that are super libertarianish, so I don't know if they could go from one extreme to the other way. So I don't.
Do you know of such a place?
Unfortunately, I can't.
Do you know of such a place?
No,
maybe we could go there.
No, I heard that guy in Argentina is doing stuff.
He is doing stuff, but part of the reason he came to power is because his current government was not doing a good job. It was more an example of reacting in that direction than the other direction. It was more, to your point, that people had become fed up with socialism.
Sure. And so, likewise, sometimes with religion, people, if they grow up in one environment, there's so much another way. Like, I grew up in a fundamentalist home, so I go opposite of whatever that is. It was. And then I know people that were Catholic and they don't want anything to do with Catholicism. So I think that works with political ideologies as well. If you expose it too much, if people are too extreme with something, you would go to the opposite direction.
Yeah, it can certainly disenfranchise a good bit, and and you see that all over, and that's part of the reason actually why we're trying to be very open in the caucus.
Okay, good.
Some of these other caucuses that focus on issues and they want to whip everybody in to vote particular ways. It can certainly leave a bad taste in party members' mouths. We don't want any part of that. I was adamantly anti-caucus for the longest time, just because I didn't want to be told how to vote. I didn't want to be told what to think on a particular issue. And then the opportunity came up to form a caucus that doesn't do that, and really just be chill and not be anti-beard, and you're in. And we don't tell you how to vote. We don't tell you have to toe any line.
You're not going to have placards at the convention? Hold up the placard that says vote no or vote yes?
We can have one where it has a bearded dude and a clean-shaven dude. We can flip it back and forth.
Oh, no, that's creative.
And then,
but what would it symbolize if you're not telling people how to vote?
Vote however you want.
Just hold up the sign anyway.
Just hold up the sign anyway.
shave, don't shave.
Right.
Vote, don't vote. Vote, don't vote.
Oh, that could be it. Yeah.
There you go.
Or take a break. Take a break. Adjourn, don't adjourn.
Yeah, that's good. Your caucus is that way. Sometimes caucuses can be very ideological in nature, and like you're saying, have a set of objectives that can.
Do we have a website?
We have a Facebook page.
You have a Facebook page. I'm a member. We have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
What is do you remember the handle?
LP Beards.
LP Beards.
Yeah. Libertarian Party Beards.
Excellent. Everyone should go visit LP Beards.
Okay.
And are there any pictures posted there?
There's a couple of memes, and I do say on there that we're going to we're going up to Pork Fest right now, so I'll be walking around handing out buttons to all the awesome beards that I see there.
What do the buttons say?
It has the seal for the Libertarian Party Beard Caucus.
This is going to be a big recruiting effort. Can you give me some buttons to help recruit?
I have a bag full.
How many buttons do you have?
I grabbed about 150.
Okay, so I can have 60?
Yeah.
We'll see who recruits more members.
Absolutely.
I'm going all-out recruiting effort. I think this is a good idea. Now, let me ask you
much
something.
more important than focusing on your campaign.
Well, I don't know about much more important. It might only be a little bit more important. Let me ask you something. How do we feel about, because as you may know, Pork Fest has a lot of Republicans. How do you feel about recruiting people who are not members of the Libertarian Party?
It's kind of it's the first time the name is Libertarian Party Beard.
I get it. That's why I asked.
You kind of need to be in the LP to be part of it.
Okay. Do you envision...
Not so much my requirement as the LP's requirement.
I understand. I get that. Okay, so let me ask you. Being in the caucus is obviously going to be of tremendous value and importance to a lot of people that we meet at Pork Fest and to a lot of people that we meet in general. Do you think that this will be a recruiting vehicle for the LP? In other words, if we approach a Republican who says, I really want to be in that caucus, dude, we want you to be a member of the caucus, but you've got to join the Libertarian Party. Will that carry some water, do you think?
And you don't even have to sell your soul, you just have to sign an app.
And by the NAP, you mean non-aggression principle or the not anti-beard commitment?
Well, that would be the NAP.
It would be an aspect of the NAP. Yeah. But it would be an aspect of the NAP. Like you can't be pro-violence and you can't be anti-beard.
I think the non-aggression principle covers not being aggressive toward people who have beards.
I think you're probably right.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a good recruiting vehicle for the Libertarian Party.
I think absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent.
Or hopefully it will be. We'll find out.
Yeah, we're going to find out. This is a good thing.
Maybe you
I had Chase on the phone earlier. I bet I could get him on board with this idea.
Maybe so.
So maybe if you do that, that would be awesome if you could show some Republicans the light and they could come on over to the Libertarian Party. Maybe they'd be convinced.
I think that's a good idea. We were going to go to Chicago and recruit at the Democratic National Convention, but I hear that they're considering going virtual with that thing.
Oh, wow.
Wait and see, but that's another, we can recruit Democrats, too.
And it's just harder to hand out buttons virtually.
Very hard. We need virtual buttons.
Yeah. Like emojis.
Yeah. That's odd that they're doing that.
Well, I just heard that there's a movement in that direction. I don't know I don't know that they made any decisions or anything. But there's a movement. People are concerned about what's going on there.
Do you think they're going to follow the LP's lead and invite you and Chase to come speak at their...
I've asked.
Oh, yeah?
I have asked, yes. I keep asking people, but I've gotten no traction whatsoever.
Okay.
No traction whatsoever.
Or
RFK. We should ask RFK if he would grow out his beard.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if he would.
Well, that would just mean he would really want to be a member of the LP. I mean, up until now, he just wants to speak to us and wants our nomination, but doesn't put in the hard work like growing a beard.
Yeah, that would show his commitment.
Yeah, that would show commitment.
Yeah, it's that first year or so of itchy jawline that's the hardest to overcome.
So I wonder if people's preferences for beards have changed with the advent of electrical shaving.
I hadn't considered.
I think you're right in the sense that it's easier to trim a beard now. It used to be that you would have to do it with scissors. You'd have to have a little bit of skill. It's easier to trim a beard these days, and therefore to look, cleanly trimmed up, even though you have a full beard. So,
right. Beard is a
tidy. A tidy beard is easier to manage these days. That's a very good point.
So
not like Peter Griffith with the bird nested in his beard.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. So, it must have been very difficult. I don't know how people ever did it way back in the day. Before safety razors were invented, people somehow shaved. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sure that a lot more people were bearded even as recently as 75 years ago. A lot more people were bearded, of course. So.
Sure. So for the people in the caucus who are wearing beards, does shaving your neck count, or do you also leave the neck hair?
I don't shave my neck, but mine doesn't really grow down my neck.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really we don't make rules, man. It's just
yeah, you do you. That's called the full caveman.
Oh,
and,
okay.
A lot of guys, when I grow my beard, which is pretty often, I'll go 2 weeks every couple of years. I shave my neck and keep it trimmed up.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So when I was in college cross country, what we did every year is not shave from a certain part of the year. I think it was from, I don't remember exactly when it was, but it's like from conference to the end of the year, something like that.
Right. You really shouldn't be shaving between Labor Day and Thanksgiving to show solidarity with the cross country team. That's true.
Yes. So I was thinking that I wonder how often people would do something like that, and I wonder how it could be used in a political setting to show solidarity.
Oh,
that's really good thinking.
We'll have to plan something special for November. The whole No Shave November thing.
That's a really good thought. Like maybe we won't shave after the duopoly gets over their conventions. We won't shave all the way through Election Day.
That's right.
Or maybe we won't shave between Election Day and the following primary season.
We're like baseball players when they're on a winning streak and they won't shave because they don't want to ruin their luck.
Yeah.
If we win the White House, I'm never shaving again.
There you go.
Wow. So do you think that women who are affiliated with men who have beards, whether they're their girlfriends or their wives, do you think they should have say on what the man should grow, or should they stay out of it?
I think that the man in that position has a vested interest to listen to the opinion.
Okay.
As long as the government doesn't express an opinion or exert any influence or coercion over the situation, or to tax beards. We're very anti-beard tax. Absolutely.
Okay.
But for your question, should they listen? Well, as just basic relationship best course. Yet you should probably listen to your significant other on what they like.
But you do you. If you think you should be a listener in your relationship, then you be a listener. And if you think you want to just be a non-listener in your relationship, then you can be a non-listener.
Yep, and you have to face the consequences either way. It's not.
That's right. It's all about personal responsibility. Wouldn't you agree?
There you go.
You have to reap the consequences.
Yeah.
Tim and I are both married, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Not to each other, by the way. Technically, I didn't want to cause any confusion. Tim is married to one person and I am married to one person, And by the way, that one person is not the same person also.
There are 4 people being described here.
Yeah, we're in a foursome.
Well, no,
Sure.
we're
No, that's a golf term?
Yes, that's a golf term. We're in 2 independent twosomes.
We're in 2 twosomes.
Way to clarify. I was thinking
I think I nailed that.
there you go, yeah. One thing I was thinking that would apply to the Beard Caucus is they, in grocery stores and other stores like Target and Walmart, they tax the beard oil and the beard balm and that type of stuff. Like, they tend to tax things like that nature. So I wonder if people would want to have that repealed.
Well, that's good. Oftentimes you'll find that that's the same sales tax that's applied to everything else. And yeah, I'm pro repealing that. But the other portions are like, have you heard of the increased cost of women's razors over men's razors?
Yeah, I did hear about that. The pink tax, they call it?
Yeah, the pink tax.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very anti-pink tax.
Oh, good. Good for you.
We're actually against the beard-related tax, but we're willing to form coalitions with other caucuses who oppose taxation of other things, so that we'll eventually have a coalition of enough caucuses to have all sales tax removed. That's right. We believe in the, if I may say so now that I'm a member of the Beard Caucus, we believe that taxation is theft.
Oh, sure. So given that, how would you fund government services? There are different libertarian proposals for that. Some would say that there would be, so how would you, if taxes, how would you pay for the minimal government services that a libertarian would support if it wasn't for taxes?
What do you, this just turned in from a, silly conversation about a beard caucus to deep real quick. We'd have to look at what you're calling essential government services.
Like
first
police
off.
and military, defensive military, things like that.
And then we have to look at the extent to which those are provided.
There's a whole lot of layers to get to there before we're going to be on board with any taxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But as a matter of principle, let me say that we believe that these decisions need to be made as locally as possible, as close to individual communities as possible.
Absolutely.
For example, I don't believe that the federal government should have an income tax whatsoever, that to the extent to which the federal government needs any income at all, it needs to go to states to get it. This is not an official position of the Bearded Caucus. This is
a member of the Bearded Caucus.
I'm speaking as someone who happens to be a member of the Beard Caucus, but I don't speak for the Beard Caucus regarding tax policy.
Okay, I get you. Okay.
And Mike's mentioned that he is a former police officer, right? So he knows a thing or two about the funding of the police agency.
That's right, and a formerly bearded individual. Just like you, I had a beard in college.
Oh, wow.
I shouldn't say just like you because it was probably 30 years earlier, but I did have a beard in college. And for the same period of time relative to my time in college, when I was on the cross-country team, I didn't shave between Labor Day and Thanksgiving, typically.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Was that a drag? Like to increase the drag as you're running?
I kept it trimmed up. Oh, kept it trimmed.
All right.
Sometimes there were a couple guys on the team that shaved their legs because they thought it would give them a little edge. But most people didn't bother doing that.
On swim team, we had guys who would train in full trunks and not shave until meet season, swim meets, and then they would go to the Speedo and a fully shaven. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I wonder is there science behind that? The people doing that, or is it that something people think that is right, so they do it?
I understand that there is substantial data to show that there is a significant reduction in drag for swimmers and bicyclists.
Okay.
I don't know about
Cross country.
Cross country. You know, maybe sprinters. I know that some sprinters wear Lycra to cut down on wind resistance.
Okay. Interesting. So maybe for the long distance runs, it's not going to matter too much, but for the shorter ones, it may.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
I do know that there's a matter of just expelling body heat. It's limited by.
It's exactly right.
Beard.
So if you're in a,
it might make shaking
9-second race.
Do beards keep it warmer during the winter, or is it not a significant amount of coverage?
Oh no, it's sometimes a deal changer. I was just over the North Korean border in China, and I think it was January. And my buddy and I had to walk 2 miles to get from our hotel to the consulate for our work day. And there's so much ice that we looked like National Geographic Arctic explorers by the time we got into the office. We had ice frozen in our beards from the condensation of our breath. But no, it certainly reduced the amount of wind that would hit your face. It was worth having.
And as you may recall from running cross country in the wintertime, you could absolutely freeze, the sweat droplets in your beard or on your legs. Where did you run? Where were you in college?
I was in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, so it's very cold up there.
Yeah, exactly. But I distinctly remember upstate New York having frozen water, having ice balls attached to my legs and my face.
Oh my. I do remember vaguely sometimes beards, if it was very icy out, got below zero temperature, that it would form on the beards, and that it wouldn't be fun. I do remember that.
No, but it does cut down to Tim's point, it does cut down on the amount of wind that gets to your skin.
Okay, so it's more beneficial than it is detrimental.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that's true.
Interesting. Sounds like your caucus is doing a good thing, and I trust your caucus will continue to do good things.
Well, we're going to give it our best shot.
I appreciate talking to you gentlemen today. I appreciate talking to you. It's a good surprise to hear you again, Mike.
It's a surprise to hear you again. It's a great pleasure. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing what I can to do well. You may be tied for the guy who's been on the podcast the most. There's this one guy from the Green Party in Missouri who's been on, I think, 3 times. So you and him are running neck to neck to the most guest who's been on the podcast the most.
I'm a little jealous that you had someone else on 3 times.
Yeah, but he made a good beard fun with the neck to neck.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. I hope you'll have a good time driving to your location, and I wish you all the best in your campaign, Mike, and I wish the Beard Caucus success.
Fantastic, Andrew. And hey, thanks for saving those kids out of that burning orphanage. We really appreciate you.
Of course, it's the least I can do for my city.
All right, buddy.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.